In this video, I'm going to show you how to cite sources using NoodleTools. So first thing that you need to do is find a website or an article that you wish to cite. In this case, I found this article on librarians that was in the Occupational Outlook Handbook that was published by the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. And I browsed it and it had information on it that I could use in my research project. So now that I have this, I'm going to just keep a tab open with this website on it. And I need to access NoodleTools. So the best way to access NoodleTools is to go to the Library Resources website, which is located at this URL here at the top. Now, you probably, if you've been through library orientation, you probably have this saved as an icon on your home screen, or you might have it saved in your bookmarks in Safari. So check there first, but the URL is on top right here. All right, once we're here, we can find our link to NoodleTools. So this is a link that is just for the Chambersburg Area School District that we would like you to use. It's better than just Googling NoodleTools. So before you do that though, just take a notice of this information on how to log in. If you are logging into NoodleTools outside of our school, if you're logging in from home, it may ask you for a re-verification or a verification username and password. That information is here. So to verify the account, it's Cassius L with a password of library. So just take note of that if you are accessing NoodleTools from home. So click on the NoodleTools link and it'll bring up this login page here. And the login for NoodleTools, if you've used this in the past, is just your Chambersburg School District username, not your whole entire email, just the first part, your username, and then your lunch number for the password, and I have mine saved here. If you have never logged into NoodleTools before, you should click on register and fill out the information and set the username to your district username and the password to your lunch number. So I'm going to go ahead and sign in. After I get signed in, it's going to take me to my projects page. Let's say I'm just starting a new project, so I'm going to click at the top, New Project. And usually here at the Magnet School, we are citing things in MLA. And I would recommend choosing either junior or advanced. Either one will work. And then I'm going to submit. And then I have to give it a name. So you can name it after, let's say I'm doing a career research project. I'll name it Career Research. Or you can name it after the topic that you're researching. That name is just for you so that you can keep track of your projects. And now I'm going to submit. I already have one, so for the name. Once you have created the project and you're ready to cite, you want to go to the top tab which says Sources. And since I'm ready to cite the source, I'm going to click on New Source. Okay, and here you have to think about, what kind of source am I citing? If you're citing something from a database, choose that. The website that I brought up by the Occupational Outlook Handbook is actually just a website. So I'm going to select that. Then I have to think about, well, what is it on a website? Is it a book on a website? But in this case, and probably in most cases with websites, it's going to just be a web page. So I'm going to select web page. And now it's a matter of, I'm going to have to toggle back and forth in between these two tabs and fill out this information. So we're just going to take a minute and get some information from that site. So first thing I need is the URL from the website, which if I go back, press the send button, then press copy. That's going to copy the URL, and I can paste that right there. Next thing it wants is the date of publication. So the date that this web page was either made or the date that it was last updated. Usually to find that, it's either at the very top, which in this case I'm looking at the top and I don't see a date of publication, or sometimes you can find it at the bottom of the screen. And here we actually have a modified date. So if you on a web page have like a date of like a modification date or a date that it was last updated, always use that date. So like if you have some conflicting dates, use the most recent date. So in this case, this actually works out. This is September 1st, 2020, and it's giving me the complete date. So I'm going to take that, go back to this tab, and the month is going to be September and the date is 1st, and then 2020 for the year. Now, be aware, some sources may not be this specific with the dates. In this case, I got lucky and it gave me a specific date that the website was modified. However, you might have websites that only give you like a copyright year. So in those cases, you just take what the website gives you, take the information that it gives you, and leave the other things blank. So if it only gave me 2020, I would just leave the date, the day, and the month blank. All right, next on our list is the most recent date of access. So in this case, I'm just going to select today, and that's going to auto-complete that. Now, we need to move on to contributors. So here we have to think, is there an author or editor of that website? So let's go back and we're going to check. Usually, that information is going to be at the top of the page before the article. Sometimes it might be at the end. But in this case, I'm checking, both the end of the article and the beginning, and I don't see the name of an author or an editor. And the reason for that is because this is actually a government website, and usually government websites are not going to list an author. So in that case, I'm just going to leave it blank and just move on. So we leave that blank. We don't need to fill in if it's not giving us an author. We don't need to fill that in. These next three fields, though, are fairly important. So first, we need to find like an article title of that page, then the name of the website that's from, and then the publisher of the site. So let's go back, and usually, again, this information is going to be either at the beginning or at the end of the article. So if I look at the beginning here, first thing I want is the article title. So this specific page, this specific article is all about librarians. And here's our title right here. So that's what I want to take, because that, specifically the page that I am viewing, that's what this is about, and that is the title of that. So I'm going to take that, librarians, and put that for the article title. Okay, and again, if it's not giving like an article title, you can leave that blank. Now, this next thing, though, the name of the website, that is required. So, name of the website should be towards the top. And the name of this website is the Occupational Outlook Handbook. And it's a big website that you can search with several articles inside of it. So the overall name of the website is the Occupational Outlook Handbook. Librarians just happen to be an article on this website, if that makes sense. So there's kind of a hierarchy here. So I'm going to type in for the name of the website, Occupational Outlook Handbook. Okay. Now the last thing that I need to find is the publisher of the site, and this is important. The publisher is the name of the organization, the company, or the agency that has funded the site, that's making it public, printing it, things like that. So publisher is very important. So let's find out what the publisher is. And sometimes they might list it at the top. So here I see like U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. A lot of times, though, you will actually find the publisher here at the bottom. So again, U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, and it's giving me like a specific office. So like within the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the Office of Occupational Statistics and Employment Projections. So that's kind of, I don't want to list that office, but like the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, that is the government agency that is publishing that whole site of the Occupational Outlook Handbook. They are a well-known agency, and that is who ultimately is funding and making all of this available. So for the publisher, I'm going to type in U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics for that. Okay. And it's very important as you cite. One thing I want to make note of is notice how I am spelling things correctly, and I am also capitalizing correctly because these are proper titles. And just like that. So you can see, like, it didn't give me all the information that we were asking for here. In those cases, I left it blank, but it did give me a good amount of information. Don't worry about this annotation part. You can just skip it. Last thing, and this is very important, NoodleTools does not autosave, so you want to make sure when you complete your citation, or if it's time to leave class or whatever and you're not done, you want to make sure that you save that citation. And if you need to later, you can go back in and you can always edit that citation and change things if you need. Okay, so that's how it's done. So it's saving my citation right now, and it's actually generating it. And on this next page here, we should see it right there. So there's my MLA citation that was just generated for me through NoodleTools.